and those lines are there. Not the you're not pregnant lines, the you're fucking pregnant lines, like those lines.
Missing someone.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mars, and if you don't know, now you know. And today I'm going to be telling the story about how I found out that I was knocked up. I've rarely just announced it on social media, like a couple of weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I want to say. And then, but like the people close to me already knew. I just hadn't announced it. This is the picture I posted, basically announcing it. I didn't have no cute announcement. I just posted pictures of my belly. I'm currently 6, damn near, like literally I'm 7 months. So I'm like 27 weeks, I think, 28 weeks, something like that. And then this is just going to be the story about how I found out, like I said. So I'm almost in my 3rd trimester. I'm like due in like 3 months. Like it's getting close. So before I get started, I just want to say a little quick disclaimer. I don't think it's a disclaimer, but just a side note really quick. I am not with the BD. I don't even want to say the words, but I'm not with the BD. Or as I like to say, I don't even call him that. I call him SD. I'm not going to say what that means, but if you can figure out what that means, that's what I refer to. That's what the person is referred to. Because I don't like to talk about it. And basically, that was a choice I made. It was the best choice I felt like I needed to make for my mental health and my happiness and my safety. I'm not gonna go into detail about it right now, but yeah, it was basically a choice I made. It was a choice I was gonna make before I found out that I had a bun in the oven. And then after I found out, I was like, yeah, I don't care, like that. I don't care that I'm having a kid. Like, I need to do this. Like, it needs to be done. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter regarding right now. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so basically, how do I start the story? Okay, so I found out when I was like, I want to say 5. It was either 5 weeks or 6 weeks. Like, it was pretty early on when I found out. And I was having like, I guess I was having all of the symptoms, but I didn't think that I was pregnant because it just was not like, I don't want to say there's no way. I don't know, like, it was just not like, how do I say it? I didn't think it was a possibility. Like, the percentage of it happening was really low. So I like was kind of like, it's the last thing I thought was happening. So my period is usually always late. Like, it's not always late, but it's like a really irregular, like sometimes it's 30 days, like my cycle is 30 days, sometimes it's 35 days, sometimes it's 31 days. Like, it's always off. It's never exactly how it's supposed to be, but it would never go past being 39 days. Like, the latest I ever was like those 10 or 11 days of it being off, so 39 days. So, you know, like, I saw that I was like 35 days late, and I was all like, okay, no biggie. And then like, I wasn't, like I said, like, I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it was just always off. So that wasn't really like a red flag to me. Like, I wasn't really worried about that because, like I said, like, it was always bouncing between being that many days and this many days, but it was never on time. Like, it was always late. On top of that, I was feeling like really, like, also feeling like nauseous. Like, I remember at work, I told my boss one day, I'm like, I might need to go home early because I feel like really dizzy and nauseous. But in my head, it's not like, oh, I might be pregnant. That's not feeling dizzy and nauseous. It was more of like oh, I'm getting sick. That's like why I'm dizzy or something like that. Like, I would find excuses of why I was having these symptoms. So that's what was one of my first symptoms, like feeling dizzy and nauseous. Another thing that was happening to me at the same time was my nipples were so sore. Like, they have never been this sore in my life. Like, you would just like touch and it would like hurt. Like, they were so freaking sore, like so incredibly sore. But again, I backed that up by saying, well, I'm probably gonna get my period soon, and like, although that's not like a common symptom I have, it might just be my body being weird this one time. So that was another one. So it was the dizziness, the sore boobs. The week before I found out, I was really nauseous like the whole day. And it was so funny because I was nauseous all day, and then I was going out that night. And that night, as soon as I started drinking, the nausea went away. Like, I was feeling like, I went from feeling like a 10% to feeling 100. Like, I kid you not, drinking, I don't know why I made my nausea go away. You think I'd make it worse, but actually, like, made it, like, totally go away. I don't know, like, that's just weird, but that was another thing. So those are, like, the main symptoms I was having. I wasn't throwing up yet or anything. I was just, out here with my sore boobs and, not boobs, but nipples, sore nipples, feeling like dizzy sometimes, not always, and then just like the nausea. So at this point, it was like 38 days of it being late, and then I was still not worried. I was like, whatever. Like, usually my period would come, like, the latest like I said, it would be 39 days. And then I didn't want to take a pregnancy test before that, because in like times like before, if I would take a pregnancy test, it would literally come the day after I took a pregnancy test. So I didn't want it to be like day 37 and then I take a pregnancy test and then my period comes the next day. Because to me, I'm like, I'm just wasting money on these like pregnancy tests, knowing damn well I'm going to get my period the next day. So I didn't bother, like, I wasn't bothering with a test, because in my head, I'm like, I know I'm going to get it after the 39th day of it being late. This is just what happened. It's ritual. Like, every time I'm scared, it ends up coming. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to bother with the test. So whatever. So then it's like the 39th day. And there's still nothing. Like, nothing. And then on that 39th day, I told my sister, I was all like, dude, like, I think I am, but I don't think so. Like, it's like a really small possibility. Like, I can't be, like, because at that point, I was already, like, thinking about ending things. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, I can't be, like, no, like, this is, like, the worst timing. Like, you can't. And then she's like, well, I don't think you are, blah, 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 whatever. Then that 40th day comes. Nothing. That 41st day comes. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, this is weird. Like, now I'm scared. Like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, this cannot be. Like, this cannot be. Like, it's never been this late. Like, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, maybe because I'm stressing. Like, because when you stress, it, like, pushes, like, it makes it delay even more. So I'm like, maybe it's because I'm stressing. So then I tell my sister, I'm like, you know what? Let's just go to Walmart and, like, get one of those cheap tests. So we go to Walmart and I get, like, those cheap tests that comes with two that I think are like $5 or like they're less than $10. And I get the 2-pack. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna take the test now, like, whatever. So it's like I want to say it was like 9 o'clock. We went to Walmart. I was ratchet and I took the test at Walmart. I know, like, I feel everyone knows someone who took a pregnancy test at Walmart, because my friend, who also has a baby, when we found out she was pregnant, she took her test at Walmart. So Went to the bathroom. I opened the test. I pee on the stick. And nothing shows up on the stick. Like, you know how like it turns like the blue lines? Nothing popped up. Nothing. I sat there for like 10 minutes. Nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my sister's like, you're an idiot. You didn't take the test right because it didn't work. And I'm like, how do you not take a test right? Like, how do you not pee on a stick correctly? Like, how did I do it wrong? Like, how? So she's all like, I don't know, but you fucked it up. You didn't do it right. So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna retake it. And she's like, no, don't retake it. She has a baby. So she knows. She's a pro at peeing at sticks. Like, she knows. So she said, don't do it right now. She's all like, tomorrow when you wake up in the morning, pee in a cup, then dip the stick in a cup. And just dip it for the amount of time it says, and then take it out, and then just wait. So that's what I did. So I went to sleep. You know, I couldn't really sleep all night because I'm like, oh my God, my life is like, can literally like change. So I wake up to go to work. I pee in a cup. I dip the stick. I take out the stick. I let it sit there for, I don't know, a couple minutes. And then I look. And then those lines are there. Not the you're not pregnant lines, the you're fucking pregnant lines. Like those lines. Like, and it was clear as day. Like, you know how sometimes people have pregnancy tests and it's like, it could be either or. No, this is like bright, bold blue. Like, you're knocked up, bitch. And that's what it was telling me. So I go to my sister's room and I wake her up and I'm like, dude, I'm pregnant. And she's just kind of like, I don't even remember what she said. She was all like, huh? She's like, are you really? And I was all like, yeah, dude, look. And then I showed her the test. And I think she had like, I think I had a mixed reaction. She had a mixed reaction. I think my parents had a mixed reaction. Because I always said, like, after I was like 21, I was all like, you know what? Like, I don't want a child right now. But if it happens, it happens. Like, I'm grown enough to deal with the consequences. Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, not I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to parenting. Hell no. Like, I know, like, what led to it. Like, I'm taking responsibility for my actions. Like, kind of like that. Like, if it happens, it happens. Like, child is a blessing, whatever. But it was just the circumstance of, how do I say this? I'm trying to speak in code if you guys haven't figured it out, because I know, like, this is probably being watched by, yeah. So, we just all had, like, mixed emotions because of who was on the other end of helping cook this cake. And she knew that I was trying to get out of the situation and, like, that it was not a good situation. So, you know, we didn't want another reason to keep the chef in the picture. But I mean, there's no choice now. Like, it's done. It's a done deal. But anyway, she just had a mixed reaction. But at the end, she was all like, oh my God. Because she always wanted, like, she was thirsty for me to have, like, a baby. And then I was like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I just had to tell someone. So as soon as I got to work, I told one of my coworkers. Because I was just, like, so shook. Because I'm like, okay, there was, like, no way. Like, in my head, I was like, there's no way. Like, that this is real. And I was just so freaking shook. And then I told my coworker. And then, you know, like, I want to say that happened on, like, a Tuesday. And then, like, I went to the doctors on a Friday. And I got, like, an actual test done. And they confirmed it. And they were like, yeah, you're, like, it was either 5, 6, or 7 weeks. But I was somewhere in between those weeks, like, really early on. And they confirmed it. And then I told my parents, like, right away. I told my mom, like, right away. then I told my dad, like, maybe like a day or two later after I told my mom. And like, you know, they weren't pissed or anything. They were probably just more like disappointed, just because of the same reason that I've mentioned before on who was on the other end of this situation. And you know, my dad was just like, after like I told him, I think he was just upset because like you know, no like parent wants their kid to be like a single, like they wants their daughter to be like a single mom. And I hate using that term. I hate referring to myself as a single mom, because I'm a mom no matter what. Like, doesn't matter. Like, I don't need to refer to myself as a single mom. Like, I don't need to add that adjective. Like, I'm just a mom. Like, I hate referring myself to that. But you know, like, the point I'm trying to make, that's why I said that word. But you know, no like parent wants their kid going through this, like, especially since like the jump. But like I said, it was a choice I made, and I'm okay with that choice. I'm totally fine with making that choice for myself. Like, I am so happy that I made that choice, because like I said, it's what I needed for my mental health and stuff. So totally okay with that. But you know, my parents were just like upset because that's not what they want for their kids. And then on top of that, I think it was like, it took me a long time to like actually like accept that I was pregnant. I think that's low-key why it took me like so long to post about it and like tell people about it, like other people that weren't my immediate like friends and family. It just like took so long for it to sink in, because it's not like, my friends always knew I didn't want a kid like this early, I was always I'm gonna adopt, like I wanted to adopt children. I didn't want to have biological children. Not that there's anything wrong, that was just, you know, my choice. And like, but I didn't want that for myself until like I was at least 27, and I'm 20. Well, when I got pregnant I was 23, but now I'm 24. But you know, it's just not something I wanted for myself right now. And when I said if it happens, it happens, I refer to it happening with a different person. Was just hard for me to accept, because I always saw myself going through this with a certain person, and for me to accept that it wasn't happening with this certain person. A lot of you guys are gonna know who I'm talking about, because it's like, you guys know. But for me to accept that it wasn't happening with a certain person was like really rough, because you know, it's just not an ideal situation anyone thinks they're gonna go through. And if you would have told me this was like, if I would have gone to a tarot card reader or something, they would have been like, this is what's gonna happen to you, I would have been like, hell no, that's not happening to me. Like, but like that's what happens. That's like what I was like, that's what cards I was dealt with. And like, I'm totally like okay with it now, like with this whole situation. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason, and now I'm gonna be blessed with a daughter, so that's obviously a good sign. But yeah, it did take me a long time to like accept that I was having a kid. Like a really long time. Like I knew it was happening, but I was just like, I don't know, like it's just like, it wasn't real to me, and it still sometimes doesn't feel real to me, because it's just weird to me that I'm pregnant, is the best way to put it. Like, I never saw myself as being pregnant, you know, like, it's weird to me to think that I'm pregnant, even to this day. Like, it's just weird. I don't know why. But you know, I'm like happy about it now. Like, I can't wait to meet the baby, my daughter. But that's basically how I found out. Just, you know, I peed on, my period was late, I peed on a stick, it didn't work, peed on another stick, I was pregnant. But yeah, that's it. That's the story of how I found out I was knocked up, aka pregnant. And yeah, I guess I'll make another video talking about all my symptoms, because my first trimester was effing rough. like so rough. I think that's why it took me even longer to accept it too, because I hated it. I hated being pregnant the first trimester. Like, I freaking hated it. Like, my life was horrible. Like, I felt like complete shit 24/7. Like, I just hated my life. Like, I hated it so much. But yeah, it'll be a separate video talking about like my symptoms and stuff. And if you guys can't figure out any of the codes I'm trying to say in the story, then I'm sorry, but if you're they're not that hard. I'm just like, I don't want to say the actual words because I hate talking about it. I hate talking about the individual involved in the other end of this. But yeah, that's basically my story. I feel like I was talking really fast too, and I'm sorry if I was. I hope you guys understand everything I was saying. And I kind of like derailed at the end, just like on a little tangent. But that's basically my story of how I found out I was having my first baby. And I'll be having more stories for you in the future. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and like the video. And you guys know the drill. And follow me on all my other... I don't know why I'm talking so freaking fast. Probably because I have somewhere to be in like 10 minutes and I haven't left my house. But anyways, follow me on all my other social media and stay tuned for my other videos. Thank you. Bye.